join this call.
Another summer cold day.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Talk once, Carl. Let me see if I can hear you.
Yep.
All right, cool. Come on in, Val, you guys can come up here too. Come on in this way. Bring them on in here, bring the hardware in here. Are those AI ones that we gotta worry about?
Maybe.
Cool.
Right
Right up here. Yeah, and then Lee, if y'all come in, you can stand up here.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I should just invite you to every board meeting.
Oh, maybe.
All right?
You guys all set? Aaron, you got all the electronics working?
I got them all working, Steve.
Okay. All right, then I will call to order the regular monthly board meeting of the School District of North Fond du Lac Board of Education at 7:03 p.m. And the first order of business is to call or roll call.
Matthew.
Here.
Hack.
Here.
Kowalski here. Jaeger.
Here.
Geckerman.
Here.
Report on public notice.
Thank you. Yeah, public notices were mailed to the Fond du Lac Reporter, radio station KFIZ and 107.1 The Bull and WFDL Radio. Agendas were also emailed and posted at the Stillman Library and the Village Municipal Building, as well as posted at the entrance to Friendship, Bessie Allen, Horace Mann, and the district office, all on Friday, May 20th, 2022.
Okay. Next, we'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item is a newer item that the board has started doing at the monthly meetings, and it's to have members share a school moment of pride. So we'll start with whoever would like.
Awesome. All right, so mine's more of on a personal level. My two children who were born and raised in this school district, this great district, just recently graduated for post-education. My daughter graduated from UW Oshkosh and will be teaching 5th grade in Webster Stanley School in Oshkosh. And my son graduated from MBTC electricity program, and he'll be working for a local company, Helmer Electric. So they were educated in this district, so that's my school member moment of pride.
Congratulations.
Very nice. Sure.
Went to the middle school band concert last week, and that was really good. I saw Pete Chisholm still pitching in and helping everybody else, so that was nice. And although I didn't go to the middle school dance, I have it on reliable authority, it was a blast.
All right.
All right. I mentioned last month how I had served on the General Scholarship Committee for the district, and since last month I was honored to announce 2 of those scholarships, the Don Borneman Scholarship and the Don Kellogg Scholarship, both former superintendents or district administrators here, scholarships that are named in their honor. The winner of the Don Kellogg is Carson Gent, and I might have them mixed up here, but the Don Borneman was Jamie Catania. And I made note, I think last month, and I think I made it I did it during my presentation, but one of them had one of the best, or the best by far, reference letters from one of their teachers that I had seen in all the years that I've been on the scholarship committee, which was really cool to see and cool to read. And the other one wrote a personal statement that I thought was just outstanding. And I've read a lot, both good reference letters over the years and personal statements, and this one clearly was the best as well. So to have both of those in the same year was really nice. It was a great night. Kids were excited, and it went very well.
I got to see the award ceremony for the fishing teams tournament on Saturday. So it could be kids on the team, students on the team, it could be alumni, and it could be parents. And the top 3 teams were all either current students or alumni. So it wasn't any parents, and it wasn't even Mr. Colby. So that was fun to see all those kids, and then they were presented, finally got the award from, no, I'm not gonna get the year right, either last year or the year before, where they, did well in state, they finally got that, so it was good.
And I just, two things in one. The North Fond du Lac Optimist Club donated $2,500. We might talk about it later, to our Woods program. So I thought that's the second time or third time I've heard the North Fond du Lac Optimist Club giving back to the programs, which is outstanding. And just to have a Woods program as well is a pretty cool feature that we have within our district. So just another way our kids can learn. So congratulations to both.
All right, thank you. Item F is the approval of minutes. We've had several different board meetings since the last monthly meeting, so the minutes were part of the packet, and if anybody has any changes or corrections or questions on the minutes. Hearing none, then the minutes will stand approved as printed. Item G is the treasurer's report, including cash on hand and bills payable.
Okay, the cash balance on April 25th was $180,049.60. Receipts for the month were $185,115.30. Transfers from investment accounts was $1.7 million. So the total receipts for the month was $2,065,164.90. Expenditures for the month were $1,834,955.34. That was the total. So the cash balance on hand as of May 23rd was $230,209.56. Bills recommended for payment that were attached are $1,544,802.07, which is made up of pre-approved checks of $1,125,603.35 and board meeting checks of $419,198.72.
Okay. Any questions on the bills? Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the list of bills.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And roll call.
Geckerman,
Yes.
Mathew,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Goldowski, yes, Jaeger.
Yes.
All right. Next is the clerk's report of correspondence or donations.
So there is no correspondence. There is many donors right to Oriole Nation for the 22-23 school year, over $34,000. Wow, that's awesome for all the donors. So thank you to all those donors. And then as John had mentioned, the North Fond du Lac Optimist, $2,500 for the Woods program. Yeah, that's phenomenal as always. So thank you to them.
I look happy.
Eric, could you identify each of those?
That's Mike McDowell, Gary Schaub, Jim Leveri, and Louis Painter. He won the Oriole Community Award. So yeah, he's in there all the time. So a couple optimists with Mike and Louis.
Thank you. Okay, next item is item I, the citizens' comments. I'll open that section at 7:12. And if there's any comments from any citizens of the district, it's a chance to address the board with any thoughts or comments you have. All right, thank you.
There's one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
If I could have you give your name and,
My name is Kate Butchratz. I'm from Fond du Lac.
wait a minute, I'm sorry, I didn't catch you. The name.
Katie Potratz,
And where are you from?
Ottawa.
Okay, now, you don't live in the district?
I live in the district here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, you said Fond du Lac, so I just jumped to the conclusion it wasn't North Fond du Lac. So,
No,
all
I live
right,
in
but
the
please make
district.
sure to put your address on the posting at the door there, if you would.
Sounds good. My daughter, she goes to Friendship Learning Center and she was injured on March 9th. A boy had grabbed her hat roughly and caused her chair to tip over, resulting in her hitting the back of her head on the tiled floor, and no one saw the incident. So the boy was not reprimanded. Shortly after that, at recess, the same boy was rough with my daughter again, and she tried to run away, but he caught her and pushed her down. Her forehead hit the cement, enough to cause a concussion. And while she was laying on the ground, he jumped on her possibly unconscious body, and then coaxed his friends to jump on her as well. My daughter was able to call out to a classmate for help, and the classmate was physical with the boys and was able to stop them from hurting my daughter further.
Okay, Sandy, I think I'm going to interrupt you here. You did notify all the board members direct by email, I believe, of the situation,
Yes.
and I think getting into near where things that aren't allowed in the citizen input or that as far as insinuating staff personnel type issues. So I guess I'm going to ask you if you could just conclude with what your final thought was, and we can refer back to your email to us about this issue.
Sure. My biggest concern is the supervision, why it wasn't seen, and how we can improve the supervision and monitors for our children to keep them safer. This boy continues to hurt others on the playground, and it's concerning that something similar would happen again. Not only with me, but other parents as well.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, you're aware of it, and we'll refer it to the administration. All right, so anybody else? Any other comments? All right, then 7:14, I will close the citizen input section. All right, next item J, the Horace Mann High School Student Council report with Bianca Arndt and Olivia Freiberg.
All right, so we've got quite a bit today with the end of the year approaching, so we're just going to jump right into it. So with Student Council, we currently have elected the 2022-2023 school year officers. So they will be serving President Aiden Fowler, Vice President Nate Gint, Secretary Leslie Aguirre, Treasurer Natalie Wolf, and Historian Makai Ackerman. A group of student council members spoke with incoming class of 2026 on April 28th, and they explained the activities of the high school student council. Applications were then handed out to the class, and elections were held on the week of May 9th. All student council members for the year of 2022-23 school have been chosen and are ready to jump right into student council next year. We also held our last meeting on May 17th. New members were introduced and outgoing seniors were celebrated. The homecoming colors for homecoming 2022 were voted on as well, which are senior class of 2023, pink and purple, junior class of 2024, black and mint green, sophomore class of 2025, silver, gray, and teal, freshman class of 2026, brown and red. The student council will also be selling Kiss a Senior Goodbye messages with Hershey Kisses from May 19th to May 25th. This is the last student council activity of the year.
Next, for the National Honor Society, we inducted 14 new members at our banquet held in April. The National Honor Society members have been chosen for the 2022-23 school year. The president will be Lexi McCourt, Vice President Jack Stepbacher, Secretary Kiana Schroffnagel, and Treasurer Aiden Fowler. Moving on to Key Club, the members participated in blanket making for Project Linus. 7 members participated during 2 Oriole times and completed 11 blankets, which was really nice, and we were a part of that as well. And it was very fun. The Key Club members held their last meeting of the year on April 26th, and elected officers for the 2022-23 school year were voted on. The president will be Aiden Fowler, Vice President Luis Garcia, Secretary Kiana Schroffnagel, and Treasurer Faith Cohen. A little announcement, Aiden Fowler has also been accepted to the position of Lieutenant Governor for the state of Wisconsin for District 15. He'll be performing regional leadership responsibilities for several clubs, which is very impressive. Our annual Kiwanis Breakfast with our sponsoring Kiwanis club members was held the morning of May 3rd. We had a nice turnout with approximately 12 Kiwanis members joining us. Our current and incoming officers provided the members with our annual report of activities for our club. And now we will talk about some highlights from the year. With the money goods we raised through donut sales, 50/50 raffles, and donations from club members, we donated and gave back to the community through the following. So Friendship Learning Center, Christmas Adoptive Family, we raised $60. Horace Mann's Adoptive Family, $20.96. Feed My Starving Children is not available, but I think
I'm sure.
I think we fed like over 100 kids for a year or something. They didn't really give us the exact numbers of it. The Belize mission trip to and sock drive, we had 36 pairs. The Belize mission trip school supplies donation was $125. Optimist Pancake Breakfast, we had $100. Backpack Buddies collection, $105. Broken Bread donation, $140. 11 blankets made, which equaled $140.62. Parent teacher conference supper, $173.49, and the total ended up being $940.07.
The breakdown of our volunteer hours include the summer of 2021, 145.5 hours, September 6 hours, October 31.5 hours, November 58 hours, December 220 hours, January 28 hours, February 31 hours, March 40, April 48, May to be determined, with a total for now as 463 hours. Our most heavily attended volunteer and impact events this year were our holiday card making, the Feed My Starving Children food pack, the North Fond du Lac Optimist Pancake Breakfast, the Salvation Army tree distribution, and the Backpack Buddies food drive, and then finally our Project Linus blanket making. And that is all we have.
Okay, you're right, that was quite a bit.
Yeah.
Any board member have any questions or comments for the student council reps? Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks, guys. What are you gonna do next year?
No idea.
No? All right. Graduation's coming up, kind of excited.
Yeah.
3 days left.
Days left, yeah.
Not counting though, right?
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
And I'm gonna just step back real quick to Mrs. Potratz about the citizen input. And what I neglected to tell you is that as a meeting of the board, we have the citizen input policy, but it has certain restrictions and rules about what can, be said here at the meeting. It's not that we didn't want to hear from you, but there are other avenues that the policy has, the board has, and the administration has to be heard, in addition to contacting the board like you did previously with the email explaining your concerns. So I just wanted to make that a little more clear on why I stopped you there. So. Okay, the next item is K, the superintendent's report. Number 1 is celebrations.
Excellent, thank you. So we have a lot of great things to celebrate, including our top 10, 3 valedictorians, a salutatorium, and world champion robotics. So first off, anybody here that's in the top 10, please come on up. Come on up if you're here for the top 10.
Lee, come on.
All right, so what I'll do is we're very fortunate that we have 3 valedictorians, a salutatorium, top 10. If you guys would introduce yourself.
I'm Abby Gildenbach.
And I'm Liga.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So Lee is one of the 3 valedictorians, along with Wyatt Draves and Nick Cohn, who are at a track meet tonight. Then Autumn Belangi is our salutatorium. And the other top 10 are Ashley Hall, Carson Gint, Alyssa Peterson, Kylie Wood, and Emily Vadness. I'll turn it over to you, Miss McGill Freeman, if you have anything you'd like to say about these scholars.
Well, I'm looking forward. I know they're in the talks of maybe having a combined speech between the 3 valedictorians and salutatorians. So we're going to check in and see where they're at, but I'm anxious to hear them. They're going to do a great job speaking at graduation. and just congratulate them. We were honored to again host the Flyway Conference Top 10 Banquet, which we do every year because we have the best school in the area and great place to host it. So it's always the last Sunday in February. So all of our top 10 were there that night, and just congratulations to these ladies. They were also part of our scholarship night that Steve mentioned earlier. So great job, ladies. Thank you for attending tonight.
And then,
Do you want to share with the board your future plans?
Yeah, Lee would love to. I plan on going to the Milwaukee School of Engineering for computer science with the intent to get into the robotics industry.
Excellent.
I'm going to UW Oshkosh to major in elementary education and Spanish.
awesome. And to the parents also, it's a lot of dedication and a lot of studying and a lot of late nights, but thank you guys very much. So on the top 10, and then Abby and Lee, thanks for coming here. Congratulations, guys.
I'd like to just add to that, Abby and Lee were getting worn out going up from their seats in the auditorium to the stage to pick up their various scholarships that they won. So that was very nice.
All right, so part 2. We were a fledgling robotics school back probably about 10, 12 years ago. You can still see a picture of the first trophy that was ever won. The robotics rooms went from the boardroom, if you remember the boardroom where we had the robotics there, and then just moved around, and now they have a state-of-the-art robotics room, and it all paid off. We had multiple teams go to the world, not just nationals, but world. So what I'm gonna do is I'll turn it over. First, we'll have the FLC Bots IQ, so if the mentors and those, so Ethan, Jordan, Jaden, Elizabeth, and Devin, come on up with your mentor and tell us a little bit about what you guys did and the awards that you won. And now in Vex Robotics, Nikki, would you want to tell them the difference between Bots IQ and VR?
Sure. These are actually Vans middle school students. Vex, our IQ can do middle school and elementary. It's basically a great learning program where they have plastic pieces and they put them together. Both programs, they learn coding, they do teamwork, skills, competition. They have to work with another team. The difference is in IQ, they work together to score the most amount of points. The other program that we're going to see after this is the BRC program, and they are metal, so they get to use all the fun power tools. And both of these teams are going to do that program next year. In the metals program, they do work with a team to score more points, but then there's also 2 other teams that are trying to sabotage them and score points too.
Excellent. So students, if you want to show a little bit about your robots and how they work.
So the challenge for this year was to collect, there's 22 balls on a field, and you gotta try to collect as many as you can and shoot in the high goal. So how our team interpreted that challenge is to add these rollers that would pick up the balls, load them into the launcher, and there would be like rubber bands right here, so they would launch and then make it into the high goal. And there's also there's a low hang and high hang. Low hang 6 points, high hang 10 points. And we designed our bot to low hang for an extra 6 points at the end of the match.
So there was two middle school IQ teams, same challenge. Devin and Elizabeth were on the second team. They took a slightly different approach to the problem. As you tell, the bots are different designs. And that's kind of the neat thing about the program is that there's really no set pattern, right? You're given a challenge, you got to figure out a solution for it. So you see a lot of different things out there. And this was, I don't know, for these two, this was their first time out. So everything was new to me, new to Devin's dad, who was the other mentor there, new to the kids. So it was quite the experience. So Elizabeth, to kind of show you. So essentially part of the problem was to, pick up these basically hacky sacks. Now this isn't the target we had for competition, but well, we missed. But you get the idea. The neat thing is the IQ portion is kind of like a feeder program into the more complex robots. So a lot of the coding and all that is similar enough that the kids can pick up quite a bit on their way up. All right, that's enough.
So tell us a little bit, students, tell us a little bit about your trophies.
Well, this one is from Worlds. It's called the Inspire Award because we wore these awesome Squishmallow hats. Ethan
So
was
I was mainly a driver, but also a builder. Jaden was a driver programmer and builder, and Jordan was mainly just a programmer and driver. Builder and programmer. Oops. But he did have to drive one time.
yeah, so we won the Inspire Award because probably our name helped parents. We tried, and then I had a Blue Jay Squishmallow hat.
And I had a cow Squishmallow hat, which the road competition was 2 days. And the first day, Jaden forgot his Squishmallow hat. So they got used to having just the cow Squishmallow hat, and the female announcer was very happy to see Jaden's Blue Jay with my cow Squishmallow. Yep.
And the other two trophies? Oh, we got second place
We got
when he was gone.
we got 2 second place trophies from
Just random.
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah, yeah.
Second place.
Then we got 2 second place trophies from regular competition. These are not from state. We got to world just by people double qualifying with our skills ranking. So how it works is that like if someone double qualifies and they're above you, then it'll go down to the next person in line. So we just got to world just by double qualifying enough for some reason.
Well, congratulations, guys. Are you guys excited for next year?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, bring on the medal. Coach Carol and crew, bring on the medal.
And if you want to see some of the stuff that they did at state, there is a video on Oriole TV that you can look up. It's like backside to state.
So we had 3 teams qualify for the world championship this year. 1 team bowed out to make it possible to make sure the senior team could go. They have qualified for the world championship 3 years in a row. And as far as I know, they're the only team in the state of Wisconsin to do so. Wisconsin is one of the toughest regions to compete in the country. I think it's number 8.
Yeah, Wisconsin is the 8th most competitive state compared to the other 50 states in the United States.
And the Platteville team won worlds this year.
Yeah, So bear in mind, the Platteville team is all guys that we were competing against.
2 years ago.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's not easy. It's a very tough region. And the Fox Valley is, teams from the rest of the state, when they come to Fox Valley to compete, they're just like, why did we bother? This for getting killed. So, yeah, this is, these guys are 1021Z, they're a middle school team. Adam, what's your name, kid? What's your name?
Yes, I'm Alec Benzel, been in the program for 7 years, and I was the driver, and I did the CAD or SolidWorks design for the robot.
I'm Aiden Benson. I built it all.
And I'm the guest. I programmed, I did the notebook, I spotted the driver, and I did some design work.
So this is their first year in the program. So there's 50 countries, over 20,000 teams competing to get to the world championship every year. Just keep that in mind. There's 814 high school teams there, and probably about half that.
That's 450, I think, or something like that, 440.
So it's not easy. This is not easy. It takes a ton of work, a ton of dedication. So, well, let's hear about your experience.
What did you do with the robot kid?
Driver.
He's a driver, and what else?
built it.
Programming? Not as much. One of the big things of the competition is there's two main sides to the robotics competition. One of it's driving it and operating the robot against other teams. And it's kind of like BattleBots, only you're not allowed to destroy the other robot unless it's in fair gameplay.
Which means no.
But then the other part of it is the driving and the build, of course, the building. Then there's autonomous, is programming the robot to do pre-programmed, what would you call it?
Well, a match is 2 minutes long. The first 15 seconds of the match is autonomous, where they put the controllers down and they run the program that they wrote to score as many points as possible in the first 15 seconds. And then this year there was a win point. I don't know what that is.
It helps with ranking during the qualification matches.
And then how we get to Worlds with skills. And then they have an autonomous skills where the whole is, how long is the skills? 2 minutes?
60 seconds.
Or 60 seconds? 1 minute. Where it runs and the programmers, the kids program it and it just runs a whole run with that. You get a score, and then there's also a driving skills. You also get scores with that. So it's more than I know how to do.
Anything else?
Oh, absolutely. I think a lot of things that people don't see about robotics is the core skills that are incorporated with it. One of the biggest things is we have to do a lot of teamwork. Believe it or not, we don't like each other, but we have to work together to build the robot. And 3 years being together, we found a lot of challenges with the people that we work with and how we work together. We often have to change the way we say things and explain things in different ways to work together, to understand, or at least I have to.
Yeah. So, okay, so another thing is, so all these guys, they go to a competition. There's a randomly generated match list, and then each match is 2 alliances. So there's 2 teams on a red alliance, 2 teams on a blue alliance. You don't know those teams, so you have to go find them, which is difficult. Then you have to devise a strategy with them. You have to talk to people you don't know. You have to look them in the eye. You have to communicate. It promotes a lot of skills. And then when the match starts, something usually breaks, and then you have to problem solve, and you have to fix it on the fly, with usually 5 minutes before the next match. Yeah. It's high stress, but it's kind of addicting.
It's really great because you get the social skills of working with others who you've never interacted with before. There are interviews for people who have good notebooks and good robots. So you have to talk to like judges and such, and you get those skills of being able to answer questions that you have to think about. There's also the problem solving on the fly. There's the initial problem solving where you look at the game and you design something and then you have to build it so it works. So there's a lot of really great like aspects to it, and it really gets you hooked.
However, one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is once you build it, you don't stop. Oftentimes you change. That's why we have 2 here. This was our first designs. However, it's been scrapped often. It is a lot that is went into this robot has been taken off and utilized in a new concept into this robot. A lot has gone from this to this through the time that we have and the experience, which we find through driving, competing, and generally seeing other ideas.
Okay.
You want me to?
So they've been together 3 years. We lost a couple of members to sports.
Started with 6.
But these are most of the trophies they won.
Can't see.
They're taking them out. The last 3 years, take from the top.
Yeah.
I tried.
Where's the trifecta? 2 of them are from state. Last year we took 2nd in state, and this year we got a create award at state. So.
Which qualified them for the world championship.
And this, yeah.
This is a trifecta. These 3 awards are won in the same competition on the same day, which is unheard of usually.
It's the Holy Grail.
It is the Holy Grail of trophies. These are the 3 most prestigious awards given out at a competition, which is...
No, the Excellence Award is the most prestigious award given out at a competition.
The top 3, however.
The Excellence Award.
This is constant.
This is constant. The Excellence Award is the most prestigious award that is given, period. Anybody can win tournament champion with a janky robot, but they ain't gonna get the Excellence Award.
What about the skills award?
Anyways.
It should be noted too that
adults are not allowed to participate in any of this. Only the
Yeah,
kids.
You're just gonna listen to them.
yeah.
All you do is just like say, hey.
Yeah.
so actually do it.
So it's very difficult as a parent because you want to tell them what to do, but you can't. So,
So,
You can ask questions to lead them,
mhm.
but when they all communicate differently, that becomes a task as well.
but we all started out as sixth graders, and that's the really cool thing. We started out as sixth graders, and we're here now.
Yes, we are all three seniors. We've all been in the program for 7 years. We started out when we were in the back room of the science room, where we started with a field in a room and
30 kids in that room with a 12 by 12 field.
with how many mentors?
Not
One.
many.
Not enough.
One per gamer.
Yeah,
No, one.
yeah, I started with one, had 32 wily sixth graders. Our generation is considered the big boom of robotics because there was
23.
It was like cool.
a massive amount of
23.
kids. Yes.
There were 7 kids in that program when they came in, 23 of them, their class came in. So went from 7 kids to 30 students overnight, and one guy trying to run it. He lost a lot of hair.
Or turned gray.
He's a little.
Yeah, but he survived. And then some people came in and tried to help him out, and
It grew to this.
yeah, so it's grown into. It's grown into one of the most successful, I'd say top 3 programs in the state. Just gonna throw that out there too. And like I said, the state is crazy competitive. But the kids that have been in this program and left this program, everyone's a success. There's a whole bunch of engineers and an airline pilot. And one kid graduated 2 years ago and took a job as working on robots for Huffmaster at $27 an hour. So when you're 18 years old, living in your parents' house, that's not bad scratch.
And Malachi, what are you going into?
Oh, yes. Aiden and I are both going down to Platteville for mechanical engineering. However, he will not be doing VexU. I will be doing VexU, which is the university.
That's university.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a different breed, but same game, different rules.
Yeah.
And I can also vouch, with my son being part of the team for a while, a lot of times it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you'd leave at about 5 or 6 in the morning to go up to Elcano Falls or somewhere else to do things, the dedication and the work. And I think what Lee is saying too, if you check out those journals, the driving and everything is one part of it. That's like the big show. But like Daryl was saying, that the Excellence Award, which is built up of more than just, because you could have the best robot and you get hooked up with some robots that aren't very good or something happens and you can't control that. But one thing that's really impressive is the background and the work and the notes that they take and document stuff. It's pretty amazing. And I want to thank the community for investing in probably the best robotics room in the state. If you want to see it, that's what was put right at a Friendship. The greatest things is the coaches have these keys in the 2 doors, and you'll see them next year. I think it'll be a little bit more robust, but they'll be here late on Fridays quite a bit and Thursdays. So we appreciate all the dedication to the mentors do, because it's a big deal.
I think it's funner for us sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so they're the first team in this program to get the trifecta and first excellence award as well. And first team definitely to qualify for, like I said, Worlds 3 times in a row, probably in the state. Yeah.
What Daryl's trying to say is we got a dynasty on our hands.
Hopefully. I mean,
one thing that they haven't mentioned yet, though, is we may be the top 3 in the state. However, the people we're competing against have access to unlimited funds and people to, I would say, assist.
I don't know. I can't.
They have a larger think tank, maybe.
Yeah.
They have more access to engineers.
But we do just fine.
Yes, we
So,
do just fine with
11 teams, like a couple more than 11 qualified, but I think about 10 or 11 teams competed at Worlds, and 5 of those teams were in the top 10 in their division at Worlds.
6.
6? Okay.
So there was 10 divisions at Worlds, about 84 teams per division.
6 were in the top 10, 3 were in the top 5.
Yeah, Wisconsin team she's talking about. So I mean, none of Wisconsin teams made it to the finals, which is crazy shocking. There's a lot of DQs, a lot of upsets. It was
Yeah.
chaos,
So,
but it was fun.
yeah.
It was a once in a lifetime experience, for sure.
Well, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Good work.
Yeah, let's see.
You got the biggest one. They won't reach the table. They won't reach the table. No, there's a laptop. No.
Oh, and did you bring the vacancies for next year?
These are the discs for next year, you'll see the information in there. I guarantee you, if you get into it, you'll watch this stuff like you watch ESPN. You can see them streaming live, most competitions. You can see every weekend and
And there
Get
is this
into it.
video being put out from World soon. I'm working on it.
next year we get to play this at like Frisbee Golf, so that's gonna be exciting.
It's a lot like Frisbee Golf.
Okay.
Gonna have to wear a helmet when you do it. When you're driving.
Feel like hockey, the kids start missing teeth.
Oh, congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Give me that. Just keep it up. Yeah, your communication, throwing off my communication.
All right, excellent. So at this time, if we have Oriole Outfitters come up, if you guys want to take a break and go, Oriole Outfitters there, it's up to you. If you guys, I know it's getting a little late, so if anybody wants to leave. Yep. You have that.
Yeah, I guess I'll.
Who wants to go on?
So can we get Roger back? Wait.
There you go. Thanks.
You imagine
Oh, we cleared out the room.
Can you imagine?
Oh, man.
Everybody.
All right, less stress. Well, I wanted to introduce my managers for the school store. And they'll go through and we've got Sammy, Jack, Johnny, and Makai. They're gonna go through a little bit more formally, introduce themselves and guide you through our year and finances for Oriole Outfitters, this has been a blockbuster year for us. We'll just leave it at that. You've got the annual report in front of you, so I'll let them take the show.
So I'm Sammy.
Oh, I'm Jack. I'm Makai.
And I'm the manager for the school store this year. So basically, Oriole Outfitters is basically a student-run business. While we get to learn about how to promote a business and just go on with it, we give all our profits back to Oriole Nation, and we also do give away scholarships. This year, the scholarship went in for Lee Getch and Jamie's
This one's me. So what's new? We're always trying to bring in new products to the store. Some of the big ones we got this year were stadium seats, as you can see up here, blanket hoodies, which we actually ordered 4 because they were kind of a big thing. Weren't sure how they're going to sell. They sold out in the first week, so we actually just ordered more of those. We got windbreakers, and then we just got new apparel on adult designs and youth clothing. So that was that.
Some improvements we made for this year is that we ended up using a Trello board. So Trello is used to track as an online planner. So basically, as you can see right here, everyone has their name in a color, and then everyone has their assigned to do things with the colors coded to what your color is. And then once it's in progress or done, we just add it to there, and then we know everything is organized for what we have to do and what we don't have to do.
I was obviously very tough with Sharon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the group sales manager, so I work with clubs, teams, and anyone that's interested in getting group orders of apparel. So yeah.
That's good. I'm the operations manager, so I actually deal with the store inside the high school commons. So my job is to order new products, restock, kind of look into stuff, what's selling, what's not, and then find events to have the store open and workers to work those events.
I'm the sales promotion manager, so I control our social media, so our Instagram and Facebook, and to keep it updated on if you have group orders that Jack has just gotten done,
and that are up online on the store, or new products like new gear we got in.
I'm the financial manager. I keep our general ledger up to date and make financial reports such as requisitions and invoices to send to team coaches and leaders. I also make cash deposits in our store for the products that we sell.
This is our updated website for right now. So we have actually one of the cross country gear that was from this year. So. And then these are some of the promotions that John, as you can see, there's like all sports wise and new apparel we've gotten in like the senior class here. And then all promotions are on the website. I've made flyers around schools, so to keep parents and like staff updated on when we're open and things like that. And then I use Facebook and Instagram, and then emails for reminders for people to order, and announcements on Oriole TV as well. So these are social media pages.
Okay, so this year we did a number of different orders for group orders, such as the homecoming t-shirts, pink out game, cross country, the Florida band trip, a bunch of different things that we all got business from.
Oh, so this is just some of the merchandise. We have a lot of different merchandise on our actual online store, and then in the store we try to rotate through and make sure everybody has the options to buy new things. So those are some of those.
So how did we do financially this year? Well, we grossed $43,021.13 worth of sales, and our total net profit was $7,527.14. Those in-store sales, team orders, and online orders made that up. As you can see in the pie chart, our team and club orders actually made up the majority of our sales this year, with our online sales and in-store sales rounding it out. In this chart, our sales are in blue and is being compared to our profits in black. We actually cracked the $40,000 mark in total sales this year, and our team and club orders actually made up more than half of that. So how did we do historically compared to other years? In the chart, this year is in gray, and we actually did almost 100%. We were almost up 100% compared to last year in total sales. And we were up about $10,000 compared to the 2019-2020 school year. And although we didn't do as many in-store sales compared to the 2019-2020 school year, we made up, we well made up for it in the team and club orders. So we distribute our profits between us four managers, and with the 25% of it going to us. And the two scholarships were paid to Lee Gesh and Jamie Catania, both worth $500. And the remaining profit will be used to start a new inventory and will be distributed to Oriole Nation and Incubator EDU next year.
So next year's managers are kept the same, 3 seniors and 1 junior. So our plan is to increase our sales even more, and work with all teams and clubs and get as many as possible, and possibly even work with like other companies that might want like a group order. And sponsor events and activities throughout Oriole Nation.
Nice work. It's amazing, the results and all the effort. And what I really appreciate is all your outfits are in Oriole gear.
Yeah.
Jack won't lay out.
Jack, you really dressed up for tonight.
What did you guys do? That's good.
Nice work on the presentation as well.
It was exciting to see them at Christmas. We busted any previous year's sales records. So by the time Christmas hit, we already exceeded 2 years ago's sales, and then we're just like, well, let's just keep rolling. Wow. That was really cool to see.
And you guys are gonna all be the same team next year, huh?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
I want to give a big shout out to Kurt. Kurt is the one who gets this all set up and allows the kids to, or the young adults, if we do, the entrepreneurs, to do their work. And big shout out to you for making this happen. So thank you.
They do all the work. I just sit back and give them jelly ranchers.
He supplies the chocolate and we just go. So.
That's right.
That's the only reason we're there.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
All right. That's pretty amazing with Kurt and all the different businesses and stores that we have, and it's kind of nice where our teams, they design everything right for all the spirit wear and the different team locker rooms, so it's very, very cool. Very proud of them. All right, moving back. So right now, update on the survey completion. I just got word from School Perceptions that we have 337 in so far, which they said is pretty good. I asked some more questions. I'll have another update in a week or so. The deadline is, I think it's next Friday, the 3rd. So if you haven't filled it out, fill it out. If you know people, just keep telling them to keep filling them out. So we have 337 so far.
Aaron, do you know how many total were, well, it's hard to tell with the internet, though, right? Or is that numbered also?
How many that were sent out?
Yeah.
I sent that to them today. I was wondering the same thing. So I'll get more of the breakdown of what the return rate is. And I'd be very interested to find out us compared to other ones versus also what happened last time when we went out for the survey too.
Sure.
So, excellent. All right. So at this time, what we'll do is we will go with the principals and directors updates. So we will start, I'll tell you what, Sam, we'll start with the high school and then we'll go middle school, elementary, and then we'll go to Trafford Way, and then we'll go to Chris and then Adam. Since you're here. All right, Samantha, update on Horseman.
Did not know you were gonna ask me to go first, sorry.
You wanna go?
Hold on, I can pull up my documents.
Or do you want to go later?
Let me go second, because my computer's being a little crazy tonight, pulling up things, it keeps closing, so.
Mike, are you?
Second as well.
Mike, are you out there? I know he was going to his son's.
He's at track.
His track. So, FYI, I'm going on Thursday. That'll be fun. Yeah. My son made sectionals, I found out. So cool. All right, so we'll go then with Carrie Jo. I don't know if she was on. Otherwise.
I'm ready, Aaron, I'm ready.
Okay.
You see you taught me in 10 seconds, it came up, I'm good.
All right, then Lauren, you're on deck.
So just a couple more things to share, so, and I think Bianca and Aaliyah are not there, but every year, and I think Steve may know this, Vicky may know this, Aaron knows this, but the seniors have kind of learned their lesson from years and years ago. So our seniors like to have what's called senior prank, and these two ladies are kind of, we'll just say in charge. So they have come to me with the usual requests of, can we camp out in the parking lot? Silly, okay. I remind them of what's, expected, and then we let Officer Hendricks know, so they'll do a couple of drive-throughs just to check on them. They asked for a couple of requests that were no, which they took okay, but, they always like to park crazy in the parking lot for Friday morning, and I just let them know whatever they do, it has to be picked up in that parking lot and taken care of before they go. So they've been really respectful the past 2 years. I know that there's a bunch of furniture out on streets right now, and so I'm hearing some of that may also be located on our school grounds Friday morning.
Thank goodness for bulky waste pickup, huh?
Exactly, so we'll be prepared for there, but they've done a good job. So we have, and I will update the board, every year for new board members, we work really hard for kids who are not on track to graduate, to look at different options. How can we support them? What's going on? We've had 2 young ladies who have really struggled, and they've made a good choice so far that they are doing some GED, HSCD study work, so prep with our school counselors kind of on the side, that they are going to look at taking that HSCD from Marine Park. And we've had 2 others that need to do some extra work, so we'll see where they end up, but it's been, knock on wood, pretty good. Some years I have definitely given you guys a longer list than I would like to. We'll always work with them, but this year we have 99 kids that are signed up for participating in graduation. We always have a couple who choose for various reasons not to participate. We have 2 students who will be attending our L5 program. So that is that 18 to 21 students who have an IEP transition program. Students, the past couple of years, we've allowed them to choose who they walk with for graduation. I think that's been a good thing for students. They appreciate that. And then our counselors and myself and Ms. Jen in the office will work with kids to do a graduation practice Friday. So they got the message, hopefully at 6 o'clock tonight it went out, just reminding them to come in their cap and gown. We will do then a walkthrough. I've been in touch with Lauren, just confirming that. Then we'll walk through friendship with them with their caps and gowns, and then through our building, and then they will do a graduation practice on Friday. And then when we're done, when I feel like they've gotten it for the most part, they are allowed to leave. Couple other things just kind of wanted to share with you, and I'll give an update next month. So we're working on our college and career readiness document. So we'll have kind of a final numbers for you there. Want to give a shout out to Lisa MacArthur. She has tried a different program this year called Fond du Lac Rocks, and really trying to work with some of our kids who are not sure what they want to do after high school. So she went over and met with Liz Forbes and our students at Phoenix, and then worked with various students who were interested in just, I'd like to hear more, and set up some different opportunities for them. We are also continuing, Jenny Stahl and myself in a meeting this morning talked to a family about Outward Bound. So we are still accepting, Marion is still accepting more students for that program. It's a great program for students who are first generation college bound or college interested. They have a summer program where kids have every opportunity to hear guest speakers, presentations, and they have some classwork that they take. And then during the year, they do what's called study table, and they write reflections, and actually they receive a stipend for that every time they do that. So it's just a great program that we partner with Marion for that. I shared in my board report, and we'll be anxious to kind of hear a little bit more about the change with our state testing. So Dan Valentine and I will meet this summer. He is a rep from ACT that works with our area, but kind of transitioning to that ACT Aspire program, which we're waiting on results right now, into the pre-ACT. We are always looking for, what's that assessment that's going to kind of be the hook for kids. And we're hoping, again, because kids will see that this is aligned with the ACT that they take as a junior, it's going to give them a predictor ACT score. They're saying at this point that the turnaround time should be much quicker. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but we will be reviewing and understanding that more in the fall when they offer some sessions for us. If you are able to attend, Wednesday night this week is our Streetzic concert and our art show. And it absolutely amazes me. I have zero art talent in me, let me just share, but it amazes me the artwork that will be shared in our comments area from both Mr. Sandstrom, Mr. Curie, and Mrs. Zakis, who works with our Phoenix students. So some amazing pieces there. The Streetzic concert as well as the award winners for the music department will be presented that night. And then just a couple of dates if you're able to. Put in there May 26th, Curtin students will give their incubator pitch. Of course, graduation, I think I've heard from most of you. Looking forward to seeing people there. And then we start summer school June 13th. So I do have posted looking for a teacher. I have one person who's applied and playing a little bit of phone tag tonight. So hoping to get that filled there. I think those are a few updates.
You guys got any questions tonight?
Comment.
I just had one in your report, you say that it looks like about 50% of the seniors are gonna be college ready. How does that number compare to past years, and do you know how it compares to like state averages at all?
So that is our goal that we have in there. So the way that, and I'll share that document, I'll have to take names out with all of you, but the way that that college and career readiness definition is that they have to have a 2.8 minimum GPA, and then they have to meet another area. So it could be that they have an A, B, or C in a AP course. It could be that they have to have a dual enrollment A, B, or C that fits right into their career pathway. Otherwise, there are standards for the ACT that they have to meet. And so that's what we look at for all of those students. And then for the career ready portion, which we would like to get to, again, that 100% realistically, is that a student has to pick a career pathway, even if they're not sure. We've had conversations that, if you know that you want to go into something business, that's okay. We don't have to have a specific job. We can put that. And then they have to have 2 other areas. So one area is that they're in 2 different activities. So it could be like tonight, it could be a student who's involved in robotics and they're involved in track. It doesn't count if they're in football 2 years. It's got to be 2 different activities. Or another one is for career ready that they have 90% or better attendance. Another one is the dual enrollment again. So it's a whole chart that we follow from that National Career and College Readiness. So I can share that more with you, especially when I present in June.
Okay, thank you.
I'll send you an update this week. I'll send you the website. Career and College Readiness came David Schuler, Dr. David Schuler from right around the District 214, came up with kids are more than just one number, and looked at a lot of research of what makes a kid career and college ready. And as Samantha's saying, there's different variables than just that one. So it's pretty, and then there's also life ready, which goes into our social emotional learning and things. So we'll get you more information on that. Okay, good job. All right. Hey, Carl, you want to give an update quick on some athletics since we're at that level? Thanks, Sam.
As far as athletics concerned, we now have all of our spring playoff teams seated. So girls softball plays tomorrow night at Howard's Grove. Baseball plays on Thursday at Plymouth. Track obviously had their regional today and sectionals on Thursday. And then soccer was seeded over the weekend. They play at Seymour on June 2nd. All of our athletes have endured what the Laconia AD, who's been an AD for 25 years and is retiring, said is the worst spring for rescheduling and weather in his memory. And they've been troopers throughout all of the changes, cancellations, and everything else, including, going from 40 degrees to 90 degrees in about a week. So we're proud of all the effort that all of our spring athletes have put in, and now we're looking forward to some of the summer programs that a lot of our different teams are participating in, and already starting to look toward fall.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. We also had some students participate at the middle school state track meet, which I didn't even know there was such an animal, including, I believe, our 8th grade 4x4 team took 6th at state. That was pretty interesting too. Also, a side note, we were tied for the top in trap shooting. I went to conference this past weekend and didn't win the conference shoot, so we finished 2nd, but had some pretty amazing marks people too. So doing good there. All right, thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. And I know we got one sectional moving on. Ethan finished 3rd and 4th in the thing, so hopefully some more too. Excellent. Thank you. All right, moving on to Lauren, Friendship. Joyce?
Hi, everyone. Things are going good at FLC. We are counting down the days, doing an ABC countdown. Today was R, which was Read a Book Day. And last week, Friday, was Quiet Day, which was definitely interesting at the elementary level, but the kids did a good job with it. Next Tuesday, we have A&W night coming up. That's always a really fun night for our staff and our students and our families. And then we're also planning a bunch of different activities next week. But one thing that we're really excited for is Enrichment Day. So we're having our students break apart into groups by band. So K2, we're offering a bunch of different selections, and then 3-5, we're offering a variety of classes. So things like eye dance, cooking, scavenger hunts, jewelry making. So again, just trying to get our kids some different opportunities to have fun before we wrap up the year. I think, Judy, are you on as well? Her and I just want to share out some news regarding the E3 program. we recently received a letter last week that we were not awarded the grant this year, which is, definitely a disappointment. We've been recipients of the grant for 7 years. And the last 2 years were actually a renewability option. So we've been fortunate to have it for the last 7 years, but we were not awarded it moving forward. So Erin, Judy, Maria, and I, we met last week to just kind of discuss some preliminary ideas about what that's going to look like moving forward. Judy or Maria, I don't know if you guys want to jump in or if you want me to kind of keep going.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can keep going if you want, but if you want me to jump in, I can.
Okay, Maria, are you on right now, or you want to just?
And hey, Lauren, can I just give a quick background?
Yeah.
Okay, so the CLC grant, it's a 21st Century Community Learning Grant. And we realized about 8 years ago that we need wraparound care. We need care for kids in the morning and then before and after school. So applied and got this grant from $100,000 to $150,000 a year that helped to provide these experiences for our kids before and after school. There was a lot of parameters about what needed to be done, how things had to go forward. We had Aaron Luther had run it at one time, and then after that, it was Lauren and Judy that took it over. And it's been a great resource. And one thing we did learn is that we definitely have families who have a need for care before and after school, and also an opportunity to enhance kids' learning. The difference right now is we no longer have that $100,000 to $150,000 in a grant, but we have a good idea of how we can make this still work and not at a pretty, maybe just a equal cost before. So with that said, we're in a whole new world, but we understand that we need some sort of care tonight. The board isn't voting on anything. This would all be put into the budget because we're looking at using possibly some Fund 80 and serving St. Paul's and all the surrounding community too. So this is just information only as we move forward. So turn it back over.
So Judy and I have done some, very preliminary work with reaching out to some other local area school districts that offer before and after school care. And we are really trying to be mindful, obviously, as we kind of shift from being able to offer this program free of charge to, charging a pretty minimal amount. I have 3 kids in daycare myself, so I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on, what that does entail. But again, our hope is to keep it still very reasonable for families. So we don't want the community to panic in any way, because again, we will still offer something. We just have to work through some of those logistics.
And that is actually one of the requirements of the Community Service Fund. Anything that we put in there has to, any type of service like that, we do need to charge even a nominal fee. So, when the 4 of us got together, we talked about the budget and the fact that E3 has been self-sustaining with that grant. In fact, we've carried money over from year to year. So we're very confident that we could run that program using less than $100,000. And when Erin was talking about the Community Service Fund or the Fund 80, that would be, that's outside of the revenue limit. So it's a separate tax levy, which we're already levying. We're levying the theater through that fund, and the police liaison officer, middle school sports. So this would be another community service that we would like to offer through that fund. So we will definitely talk more about it. We're really in the beginning stages of it, in the planning stages of it. Lauren and Judy are still gathering information from other districts, and we're starting there, and then we'll just bring information forward as we get it.
I would be ready June, July, just so by that time, because we want to have some sort of program kind of roughed out so our families know in the fall that, hey, if I have to have my child there early and after school, that they know the service will still be available, just look different. So be aware that I'll bring forward the ideas that they're going to create so that you have a better idea of what this looks like, how it costs, and then what the different elements will be. So.
And Lauren and Judy, what is the enrollment right now in E3 approximately?
Before school, the average daily attendance was 53 students and, after school was 39, correct, Lauren?
So there definitely is a need out there for it.
Yeah, and without the grant, we're gonna be able to move forward creatively, but also without some of the restrictions the grant put upon us too. So we're gonna be able to do a few different things with it compared to what we're allowed to do with the grant. So it should be good.
And it could help out families. A lot of it had to be, you had to consistently attend. But we know some families, maybe now come the spring, there might be soccer, baseball, or softball some nights. So as Judy said, I'm really excited to see what Lauren and her come up with, an idea to really have a great service for our families.
Have you considered the Fond du Lac Area Foundation as a source of grant? Might be a resource in the future.
I think I know someone I can talk to.
Thanks. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hock. Always looking for an angle to help the community. Wonderful. All right, thank you guys very much. Maria, we'll see you more in a little bit, but thanks, Lauren. Thank you, Judy.
I did have one.
Oh yeah, hold on. Rick's got a question.
And I sent this to Carrie Jo. I didn't know she wasn't gonna be here, but in the graph on the report on the first page, up one, that graph on the bottom of that top page there, I was playing around with it because I wanted to get some percents out of it. And that 105 and the 510, the totals on the bottom there, those don't add up to the columns above them. So if you add up those columns, it doesn't add up to 105 and doesn't add up to 510, which is, the rest of them all do, but that didn't for some reason. So it looked like a report coming right out of the package, so that concerned me a little bit. And then I had a question, I can wait for Carrie Jo, because it's not fair to kind of spring it cold like this, but in looking at the percents, the fifth grade did not appear to improve nearly as much as like the fourth grade did percent-wise. And I was just wondering if there was a reason the fourth grade either performed better or the fifth grade was worse, or why that discrepancy was there, but it's not fair to kind of spring that on Lauren. Like I said, I sent it to Carrie Jo to give her time, but so we can kind of table that to next time. But I did want her to point out that those columns don't add up.
All right.
All right, anything else? All right, thank you.
All right, so now we'll go to Tiffany in the Trefford Way.
Hi. All right, just a few highlights from our board report this month. We're wrapping up testing, as I'm sure the rest of the schools are as well. So it's STAR, and then we do a functional communication rubric on all of our students that we report on a few times a year, as well as end of the year parent surveys. And then I'll be collecting all of that data. It will go to DPI in June. We have to submit our end of the year report as part of our grant. So at my June meeting, I'll update you on all the final totals for all of that data. We had our spring gallery and we had a great turnout. All of our students had projects on display. We had a parent playing live music for us. We had a book fair. And then something really neat is that all of Tim Williams's students had mentors as part of their career fair project. And a few mentors from the Madison area drove up to meet their students in person and to see what they had worked on during this project. So that was really great to see. Our students are wrapping up their final passion projects of the school year and sharing those with their classmates. We do conferences a little different at Trefford Way. So all of our teachers are scheduling end of the year TAP meetings, which is our Trefford approach plans. And those tie into what their SLOs were for the school year. So we're excited to share a lot of growth with families there. All of our students have at least 4 goals on their TAPs, and many have attained 3 or even all 4 of them this year. We went on a whole school field trip to Shalom Wildlife Zoo on May 12th, and that went really well. We had a volunteer appreciation breakfast on May 20th for all of our families that have helped us serve breakfast or lunch or come in to volunteer some other way in our school during the year. We've met 3 of our new kindergarten families so far, and we are waiting to kind of see where our numbers fall. We have a few other students that might be moving over this summer, but we don't fill those seats until they're officially registered at another school. And then just looking ahead, we have a school-wide carnival that we do on the last day of school. all the students in our older classes create games for the younger students to participate in, and we'll be heading over to Village Park for that. And I know at the last board meeting, you approved our 2 new teachers, so we're really excited to welcome Kristen Ide and Amanda Weed onto our staff at Trevor Way next school year. We're making plans for summer work days, working on our TAP documents, continued work on standards, as we'll be up to 9th grade next school year. And then just learning more about project-based learning and attending some workshops on that. And then just one more thing coming up, we also do a separate golf outing. It's separate than the district's golf outing, but that'll be on June 13th. So I'll get that information to Karen too, so she can get it on our district social media. But a lot of that money that we raise at that event goes towards student projects and classroom projects throughout the school year.
Thank you, Tiffany. And also, we're still waiting on the grant for the high school charter school. That should be in June, we'll find out, correct?
The second week in June is what I've been told, so we're hoping to hear on that. Positive news.
Excellent. Board members, any questions of Tiffany? All right, thank you, Tiffany. Appreciate it. Mike, I saw you came on. You ready? Present on BAMS? I see him there.
Yeah, I'm in transit right now, but I'm definitely ready to talk. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you got it.
All right, so I just went over some SLOs for our school. Looked at the data. 90% of our students met growth in the various ELA literacy goals set forth by our teachers. 84% set their goals for the math component of the SLOs. So great success, because our goal was 80% growth or proficiency, so we got to that. We had a very successful choir concert a couple weeks ago and a very successful band concert last week. So shout out to Mr. Rasmussen and Mr. Moyer. In particular, Mr. Moyer, I want to give him some credit because he took over a program in the middle of the year. And that's very tough to do. And our band's performing at the Kalahari Resort this weekend, just starting on Friday. So that's going to be another milestone for our band. We have our talent show that's coming up at the end of the school year. And we're going to celebrate our robotics teams that made it to World, the overall programs, because they're worthy of being celebrated. And we're also going to have field trips that are coming up. June the 1st is 7th grade Timber Rappers game. And then June the 2nd will be 8th grade going to Mount Olympus and 6th grade going to the park and just hanging out in school as well. A very busy upcoming weeks for bands, days for bands, and just really looking forward to ending the school year on a positive note.
Thank you, Mike.
Anything else that the board needs to know?
Nope, how'd Ray do tonight?
He did not make it to sectionals, but he jumped really well. He jumped like 40 feet for triple jump and 20 feet for long jump. It's very stiff competition, and he missed by inches for both jumps, but he will get there eventually. He missed the long jump by half an inch to make it to sectionals. He missed triple jump by an inch, but he did make it to the 4x100 relay. It's the sectional, so looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, safe travels, Mike.
All right, thank you very much, everybody.
All right, so now we'll go with Chris Schultz.
Good evening, everyone. So we're wrapping up the year. Sped department is busy, lots of things to finish, and we're making plans for the fall. So that's exciting. Just some updates on staffing for next year. We have Mr. Brad Reinke moving from 6th grade special ed into 8th grade next year. And then Stacia Weber, who you approved last time for hire, will be our new 6th grade special ed teacher. So we're excited about that, and we posted for an aide to help her. And for the high school, we're moving back to a grade level case management model. So we'll have a SPED teacher at 9th grade, one at 10th, and then Mr. Jim Knowlton and Carrie Zay will be sharing the 11th, 12th grade special ed caseloads. And then we have Mr. Reedy Hansen, who will be working with our students with intellectual differences. So no changes there. You approved to have April Elstad come and serve in our high school. So we're excited to have her in that 10th grade spot. And then we have 2 recommendations for you tonight. Bryce Hansen, who would be 9th grade special ed, and then Allie Donovan would be replacing Beth Strady in the best position, and we revamped that to the bridge program. So I put that in my board report for you, and a summary of what that all entails. But the bridge is basically, it creates bridges for students and teachers. It's a bridge from middle school to high school to connect our SPED teams. It's a bridge for the students to connect them from the school to the community. It's a bridge connecting from the community to employment, and also for students to move from more support into more of a grade level case management. So excited to see what that will all bring. And then we're also going to be continuing to work with Community Works next year. That's an organization in our community, and they support students with their emotional regulation, social skills, and connections in the community. So they are going to be working with a group of our high school students next year, taking them into the community to work on employability skills, practice social skills in the community. So we're really excited about just having these different resources and a great staff. So, and then I have my May SPED newsletter attached, so you can see some updates in there. We had the Birds of a Feather Awards and WCAS, and just a lot of cool things happening. It's just a very talented teaching and instructional aid team, and I'm just very proud of all the work that they have done to support our students, and then all that our students have accomplished this year.
Chris, you want to just talk, since we have here, about Bryce and Allie? That way, when they come up in new business that you're, you want to tell us just a little bit about them?
Absolutely. So Bryce is a graduate of Eau Claire, and Eau Claire has a phenomenal special ed program. So he is very versed. He has actually been doing some long-term subbing for that district. He has family in Appleton, and that's why he's heading back to Wisconsin. He also has some hidden talents, or maybe not so hidden. He's a DJ. He's been a DJ since he was 16. So he's offered to help us with some dances and things like that. Maybe we'll have him, I don't know, participate in our professional development and get people moving. He also has an extensive athletic background, loves to coach, and is looking for opportunities to coach. So he's really going to bring a lot of great energy and just background to the team. And then we also have Allie Donovan, who worked in the Kewaskum district for quite a while, and her focus was on transition. And so she's going to be serving as the bridge teacher, but also working on academic skills with the students, social, emotional. So it's going to be a great team, and just really excited. And they're excited too to have some diversity in our team and move forward.
Thank you, Chris. Board have any questions of Chris? All right, and then we'll end it up with Adam, who's in person.
Thanks, Mr. Sadoff. Yeah, kind of like everyone else said, a lot of, definitely the time of year where you have your feet in both ears, so finishing up some things and looking ahead to next year. So a couple of things to mention as I, listened to some of our students talk today. It's, I had some experiences this month talking to students on the academic end, and just getting some feedback on some things that our abilities have been working on. And kind of what you saw here was the same as what I heard, just really energized by our students wanting to talk about, okay, what does instruction look like, and what do we expect from our adults as our teaching staff, and what do we expect from them as students. So I mentioned a few months ago about those expectations, so I took that around to our students and just talked to them about that. It was great to just hear from the group I chatted with, just, they had a lot to say, which is good. And I found that to be true as a teacher here and as a principal. When you talk to our kids about learning, they tend to be the experts because they're the ones in the classroom. So I'm excited as we share that information in service and share with some of our leadership teams, just kind of looking at how we can get more of that feedback going. I mentioned the staff, man, if they'll talk to me about that. So when they don't know as much as their teachers, imagine what they'll tell you about how they can be engaged and how they want to learn and things like that. So excited about that moving forward. And then a piece that, we dabbled in a little bit this year that you'll hear more about next year, but, looking at that idea of how do we teach students at grade level, so meeting that standard, which the standards are all written to grade level. So how do we teach kids in that grade level space routinely, especially when they aren't at grade level? So that can seem like an impossible task when you say, how do you teach someone with a text they can't read if they're not reading at grade level? But we started dabbling in some of those ways to do that. So the scaffolds to build that student up to that text or up to that work, as opposed to modifying it where you bring it down, bring the student down to that level. We want to scaffold them up and then pull those away as a student proficient there. So we're excited to dig into that a little bit deeper with our math team and then our science, social studies, ELA teams on that practice as we plan for next year.
Anybody have questions for Adam? All right. Anything in general that the board is listening to the directors and the principals have any follow-up or anything that came to mind?
I guess I thought I heard last month that the ACT results came in. I didn't know if we were gonna get a look at kind of what the overall results of that look like.
You definitely will. What happens is that, right, the individual ones came out right now, the together ones, that report isn't out yet, but once we have it and it's not embargoed, you'll get that. Samantha, you have anything you want to add on that?
No, exactly what you just said. I was gonna give a different shout out, but absolutely, once we get a little bit more data, and then once it's not embargoed, we definitely will share an update of where we're at and some thoughts and conversations we've had as well.
Okay, thanks.
What other shout out you got, Sam?
I just, because I know Steve was mentioning the awards before, and I just really want to thank publicly Randy Gorski and then his daughter Nikki Sutter. They just are our go-to people for the Jim Beyer Award. They do such a tremendous job. They research a little bit about the recipient. And, once again this year, and I know both Aaron and Steve, you were there, but they just did a really, really nice job. The recipient of that award this year was Nick Cohen. And it was really nice. We've been able in the past to honor Dave Cohen. He did not know that Nick was getting that award. So you could see that he and family members were very touched by that. But just the amount of research that Randy does. Randy's on the Hall of Fame committee with me, and we met recently, he and I, to kind of go over some names that have been given to us and looked at. And he has already said, yep, I will start researching these people. And I just so appreciate all that he does. Just wanted to give that shout out to him and then his daughter Nikki as well for coming.
Thanks, Sam. Yep.
Yeah, and just to follow up on Rick's question, and I think Rick's probably the newest one here that wouldn't have had this yet, but typically all of our state assessment data, it becomes unembargoed after, like in the fall at some point when our state report cards come out. So currently we have our access test scores already back to us. That's the test that our English language learners take every year across the state. And then our ACT results are back, and those are both in our data warehouse, so we can look at those internally. And then our other state assessments, they'll come in the summer, and we'll get those into our data warehouse too, and we start to do some work around those in-house. But then, when we get to that, when that embargo's lifted, then we can share that publicly, and that information goes in the newspapers and is out there. So we typically do a board report. We kind of go through that and talk about some things that we've seen. And the only thing just to also mention about that is we have to be careful with, if we disaggregate that data, if we have smaller groups of students, say like if we say, hey, look at the scores our Pacific Islander students scored, and we only have maybe 2 or 3 students like that, would probably be a data point we want to stay away from, because public say maybe that could be where, hey, I know who those kids are, and now I kind of know their test score, so we can try to keep that, be aware of that as we look through our data. So
And it's amazing how, like, even with our state report cards, there's errors. So it's really the state, and I think DPI is a little farther behind this year than they have in the past. But they always want to flush those out so when the data comes out, it's as accurate as it can be. But all right, that's what we got there. And now I'll turn it over to Steve. And Steve, if you want to give you, just before this meeting, you had met with Ted Knightsky from CISA 6. If you want to give an update of the superintendent search and where the board's at.
Sure. We started after learning of Aaron's decision to take the new position with the Fond du Lac Foundation by bringing it, well, we talked amongst ourselves about timing and what we wanted to do on that, and then brought in a consultant who was Mr. Knightsky from CISA 6 to give us some roadmap, I guess, some background on how the process works, and then discuss the timing. We decided then to move ahead right away with starting the superintendent search. The majority of the board felt that was the best way to go. So we decided to go with the CISA 6 search process. It's a little more regional here and a little more streamlined, I guess, but still very quality search. They've placed a number of superintendents in the area districts that are doing well. So tonight we met with Ted before the start of this meeting and talked more closely about the actual schedule, the steps that we'll do. We talked about the profile of what we're looking for in the new superintendent and gave that information to Ted so that he can start to put together the posting, which will happen soon. And that's going to continue through with the goal of if finding a qualified superintendent, interviewing on June 20th and perhaps approving a contract on June 27th. It's a rather quick but thorough and very good process that they do with CISA 6. The postings are going to be open from right now, May 27th, that would be Friday, I believe, to June 10th. And Ted and his team are going to continue in the background doing the stuff that they do. And I think one other point is that the staff is going to get a survey from CISA 6 asking for input about what they want or what they see as being important in the next superintendent here in North Fond du Lac. So we will keep you posted. Again, it moves fast. Basically, that's CISA 6 process, but it's also based on the timing right now of the superintendent search at this time of the year. So anybody else want to add anything? I think, it's rocking and rolling. So.
And then any information I get from Ted, a summary or with that survey that you said, I'll make sure that we work to get that out. And then and have an explanation too for the community, so we're up to date on how things are going. So cool.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Then here is department school goal shares are going to be June 27th, so everybody will come. And that's where we'll have them online, and they'll have their final goals, like Samantha College and Career Readiness. What's that data look like? Our SLOs at our middle and our elementary school, and also at Trefford Way. So that'll be coming June 27th. Also on June 27th, we'll have all the HR guides and the student handbooks, co-curricular stuff. So there'll be a lot of handbooks and stuff at that time. And then other final announcements, retirement party on Wednesday, June 1st, 5:30, top shelf, if you can make it. And then the survey analysis, I have 5 here, I think 5:30 on June 27th. And we're going to do that at 5 or 5:30. Did you want to do 5:30? I think I've thrown a couple different times out there. Okay, I'll say 5. You know what we could do is we could probably do 6. I think because with the survey, if that spills in, we're going to talk about it at the regular board meeting anyways. So why don't we just do 6 o'clock? And that's one of those community workshops where people can come and we'll get the data back. We should have the data back before that, And if I do and I have a summary, I'll get it to all the board members, but that's when we'll share with the community and then look at what those questions are gonna look at for operational referendum, capital referendum, and just information we got back. So make sure everybody out there, if you haven't filled out that survey, get that survey filled out. If you're saying what survey, contact the district office and we'll get you one. We want to find the input of what the community looks at the future and our ideas, first ideas of what those next steps could be.
What was the date of the meeting, Aaron, that you just?
27th, so it's right before our regular board meeting.
Oh, June 27th.
Yep.
All right.
And that's all I've got, President Hawk. Oh, by the way, we don't go on Wednesday, got canceled because of not enough people. Wednesday for our time together for. Yep. And then also I sent out, if you want, Thursday, June 6th at 8:30. John went the last time, but if anybody's interested for the legislative breakfast, let me know. I could get you registered and we can go have some good bacon and a conversation. So good, fun learning time. You get to meet a lot of people. All right.
Okay. All right, then moving on to item L and new business. The first item is to discuss and consider educator contracts for the 2022-2023 school year.
That's Bryce and Allie, which we talked about already. Very impressed with the team getting together, and we're almost full. We have a couple other aid positions right now, but we're rocking and rolling. I'm very proud of our team and all that they've done in order to work. Chris, I know you got a lot to fill on your plate too, and your team, they stepped up. So I feel very comfortable with our staffing going into next year.
All right, so you received the bios from of the two teachers, and Chris and Aaron have talked about them, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the contracts for the new educators.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Massey,
Yes.
Hack,
Yes.
Goldowski, yes, Jaeger,
Yes.
Geckerman.
Yes.
Okay, item 2, discuss and consider the summer school contracts for the summer of 2022.
Cool. And just say, Chris, I have it all queued up for emails go out to Allie and to Bryce tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So, all right. Go ahead.
You had indicated there was a list that included, I didn't get that list, so I was just wondering. And that,
I apologize for that. I have 2 here. I can run more copies, but it's, we have that. You want me to run some more copies so you can all see it? It's our current teachers and stuff. I can run some.
yeah.
Why don't we step at the next one? I'll run you copies. This is pretty much a normal thing that we do every year that we have to do to offer summer school contracts. I apologize. I didn't get that to you at the HR stuff, but we'll run copies and then we have a list for the record. But we can, while Adam's getting those, we'll go to Maria. Maria's been sitting patiently with some amazing news, by the way, budget-wise. Maria.
Hi, everyone. What you have in front of you is the May revision that we do every year. The purpose of it again is so that DPI has our very latest budget, our most accurate budget to date, and then they do our aid estimate, our July 1 aid estimate. They have the most updated information. So I go through that every year. And as you can see, we brought our deficit down from 602,000, which is what you approved back in October, and it's now down to about 161,000. There still is 6 weeks left of the school year, so things can still definitely change. And really keeping an eye on our deductible HRA, our retiree HRA, and our SPS MAC. Those are some big numbers that could really swing this deficit one way or another, and obviously we hope that it moves more towards zero. So more information on that. And then our $161,000 deficit would bring us to 17.69% fund balance. And our board policy says we want to keep that at 20 to 21%. So we will keep working at putting any surpluses into fund balance to bring that back up. This year, we did not have any cash flow issues. thanks to the ESSER money and thanks to, we had the Trefford loan money, which helped with cash flow. Also our Fund 21 money that we transitioned from balance sheet over to revenue and expenditure accounts, so that's helping our cash flow as well. But we'll continue to work to bring that fund balance percent back up to 20%. So you have the budget publication in front of you. Once this is approved, then it gets published in the paper for everyone to see, and it offers a couple years of history. So from 1920, and then I have 2021 in there, and the budget adoption from October, so that you can see the difference between the October, what was approved then, and the budget revision from today. So this gets a little complicated, so I tried to break down where those big differences, the bigger differences were, and that is in the other document where I have, at the top it says revenues Fund 10, and it goes through the revenues for Fund 21 and then down to the expenditures. So I tried to highlight where those big differences were in the budget, and a lot of it is due, as you know, our fiscal year starts in July. We don't approve the budget until October after our third Friday in September count, our people count. And this year has just been an anomaly. We've received a lot of funds from the state and federal level that we just didn't know we were getting. So that very first item on their allocation from the governor of $180,000, we didn't know that was coming until December. So well after the budget is established. So we're trying to run our year on, on what we know at that point in time. It's a little tricky. So going through, those are the grants that we get, and the different aids. The high poverty aid, that was another big one. We got more in high cost special ed than what I had budgeted. Last year we got under 70,000. This year we got over 180,000. And a shout out to Judy McHugh, who worked on the high class special ed aid and just did a phenomenal job on it. So a lot of those bigger numbers that swung our deficit to the more positive end, which was awesome news. I can go through, if you have any specific questions on any of those or any other questions on the budget. The audit now will be at the end of July, so I'll have another update for you at the beginning of August. We should know pretty well how we've ended the year. In the meantime, I'll be working on the 22-23 budget, circling back to that and fine tuning that. But any questions?
Well, Mary, this is pretty standard stuff, right? Every year we need to do this revision to reflect what's been happening through the year and finish the year out.
Yes, very standard. Just like I said, the anomalies are the aids that we were receiving throughout the year. We received special ed aids that, additional aid like flow through aid. We're still waiting for another grant that Chris wrote that we won't know. I'm not sure when we'll know about that, probably in June. So just some different opportunities that are not normal opportunities, but there's still COVID money out there and they're still trying to split that up. So the process is the same, it's just the revenues have been just coming in really haphazardly.
Okay, and not to oversimplify it, but what we're doing here is moving money around within thing. We're not adding to the levy, or we're not spending more.
Right, the levy is set. I can't adjust that. That is definitely set. The only thing I'm doing is, yes, balancing out by function, so where the money is spent, that's what I'm balancing out. So if I see a large surplus in one account, I'm moving that out and into an account that has a deficit in it. So like, I had to backfill utilities as an example. So I may have pulled money out of salaries where, we had staff leave in the middle of the year, so I was moving money from salaries and moving it over to utilities where we needed it. So it's kind of a balancing act. But the big takeaway from this is that now DPI is not using a $600,000 deficit to estimate our aid. They're going to use a $160,000 deficit to estimate our aid. So we have a better idea for 22-23 what our aid will be, therefore what our levy will be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and one of the things, Steve, is that a lot of these are these are trends, and we're getting better and better at them. This was probably the most bizarre year of getting resources at late times, and when we got them. And also just another huge thing, Adam's working also on the KPIs, which we'll have an update on those. And then July, we're gonna get our first ever real good picture. But Maria, you wanna tell everybody what our mod rate is?
Our mod rate, yeah, it's pretty exciting. I can't remember what our highest was. I think it was 1.3 something, I think that was in 2017. It's now 0.71. Our goal is 1, and we're at 0.71. So people are staying safe. We have less trips and slips and falls. We have, I think that the training that is done in special ed they're doing a phenomenal job because we have less people out from injury, from, special ed related injuries. So yeah, that's huge. That just means less that we're paying on our insurance premiums. So that's huge.
Workers' comp.
On our workers' comp insurance, yeah.
That's good news.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other questions for Maria or Aaron? Okay, why don't we finish this one, and then we'll go back to the summer school contract. So I'll entertain a motion to consider the budget revision for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Who said that?
Terry.
Terry.
And then roll call.
Goldowski, yes. Jaeger.
Yes.
Geckerman.
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes. All right, and then unless there's any questions on the list of summer school contracts, I'll entertain a motion to approve the list of contracts, and I'll abstain from the discussion if there's any, and the vote.
I can make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call?
Geckerman.
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
Hawk.
Abstain.
Goldowski, yes. Jaeger.
Yes.
Can I just ask one question? It really isn't about high school, but, so Tom Matthews was our strength and conditioning. Do we have somebody that's doing that now?
We didn't have anybody that currently has applied and interviewed. He's still doing the strength and conditioning, coordinating that this summer. But Sam, we don't have anybody that applied to take that position, correct?
No, we do not yet. He's coordinated with summer, and coaches have signed up for high school strength and conditioning.
Thanks.
Are we looking to hire somebody?
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
It's been posted also, so.
thank you.
All right. Then I will entertain a motion to move to closed session to discuss superintendent contract, under state statute 19.851C, and to discuss a personnel issue under state statute 19.851C.
You can strike that. I don't have a personal issue.
All right. I'll make a motion to move to closed session.
Second that.
Roll call?
Hawk,
Yes.
Eckerman,
Yes.
Mathew,
Yes.
Goldowski, yes, Jaeger.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Need a little recess here. Thank you, folks.
Yeah, thank
Have a
you.
good one, guys. Dave, did you want to say anything? You sure? All right. Thank you guys very much. Have a great evening.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night.
And
All right.
All right. And Orioles Nation, we are now signing off. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
See you, Adam.
Yeah.